Hey guys, Model Man Frank here. Different setup today. You're not going to see my face. You're just going to see the board. I figured I'd go live about 10 minutes early because today may be a short video. I don't know, depending on how tired I get. But I really would appreciate if you like this setup. Hit the thumbs up button and let me know, because if you like this version better, I'm still gonna get another camera and I'm gonna put it on this side here. That way you're able to see not just my face, but you'll be able to see the actual board even in another angle, and I'll be able to twist the camera around when I make cuts on the board. So what we've been working on is the P-40, and I got a new computer, so I'm trying it out in different aspects. I mean, I can bring up the other camera so you can see. Bring up. You can't see me. That's me right there. But for right now, I am actually going to take myself out of the camera. So you can see that we're working. This is the plane that we're working on, and I started on the fuselage. So last week, on Sunday, I kind of built out the fuselage a little bit, so you guys, when we started up, you could actually see how it goes. This is an interesting plane to build. Excuse me. It's very clunky, and you can tell it was a gas-powered plane just by the design and the differences. This is one of the pieces that'll go right here. Today I was actually, I'll bring up the camera so you guys can see me yapping. So today I was mowing the lawn, and if you see me a little grain and a little broken up, is because the camera that's on here, I just don't like it. It's very the resolution is very low, and I don't know how any other way to really get it to get up higher, because it's an old camera. This computer that we're looking at that we're working on from here is a newer computer for me, but it's not a newer computer for the system. Is this this camera is from 2018. The computer is, I'm sorry. And yeah, so I got this computer from my dad, who, thanks Dad, but he never really used it. He did initiate it. Oh. He initiated it, and I had to restart it and crank it all back up with factory settings and everything like that, so I could get logged on, because he forgot the password, so I couldn't log on to the system. So I just basically I did it brand new. So that's what you're seeing right now. We should off the background. So yeah, it's a newer computer, new to me, but not new computer to everybody else. So I am going to shut the screen off that you see over there, and we're going to work on the plane now. Because I know some of you are actually, those of you that are watching, I know you just want to watch the build. And I don't blame y'all. I really don't. I want to watch the build too, so. Alright, guys. Here we go. Yeah, I've noticed that this plane is pretty interesting the way the construction is done on it. So I've got to... And the way it's actually setting up, Benel has been building his Citabria. I'll tell you one thing, that plane looks like it's really going to be a really nice plane. I would really love to know what color scheme he's going to use for it. I do see a lot of Citabrias, especially in the IAC, which is the International Modelers, the International Aerobatics Competition. I see them either yellow and white, but a lot of the ones that you see like in the hobby, in the hobby, are always like red and white, and I don't know why. I guess that's a really, that's the only picture they see. But it'd be really cool if somebody painted or covered their aircraft in different colors. I think the really nice scheme is the gray with the white. And I've actually seen one that was green with white, which was really interesting to see. Excuse me, I am tired. At 8 o'clock I'm already getting sleepy, and it kind of sucks. I can't wait for daylight savings time to start again, because when that happens, then we can, when daylight saving time ends, and we go back to normal time, we're able to, I'm not here falling asleep half the time. I don't like this bottle. It's so clunky and so thin. It's hard to manage. I can't play music because YouTube's algorithm would flag it for copyright infringement. So I'm probably going to have to download a whole bunch of music from low wave records. If you ever want to check out Hacksman, it's got some really cool vibes, like 80s style vibes. I'll have to download his music and listen to it, because he doesn't have he has no copyright on it, and he does that purposely so content creators like myself can actually, have it in our system and not have to worry about pissing YouTube off, which I really do appreciate a lot. And there's really no set plans for this. I downloaded a bunch of them, and I was looking at them, and there's really no set instruction sheet on how to put this plane together. So you're watching me do this, kind of figuring out the plans themselves, and going by what I read about the plane, um, as best I can. So we're doing this together, guys. Um, when you see me doing this, it really is a reason why, because I can't figure it out. I mean, you're going off the blueprinted plans when you're building planes like this. Some plans are better than others. Some are not, as you can tell with these set of plans. I wish I could find what I printed out. Oh, I got it over here. Let me let this glue set up and I'll show you. So this is what I got off the internet for this specific kit. And shows the plane flying in there. So this is supposed to be a gas powered plane, and it's supposed to run on an engine, a 10 or a 15 with a 2-ounce tank. Of course, we're not going to run it on gas powered. We're going to run it on electric, and which will be nice because I'll be able to close this out and the muffler won't be sticking out. Also, I'll probably be able to source out a 3-bladed prop for this plane, which is what I really would like to do, is keep it as scale as possible. But you can see it tells you about the plane, and then it shows the build up here. So I already know that the doubler that I made, so these plates here actually have to be longer and come all the way down to here. And I got a feeling that this has to be shortened. So these ribs have to be shortened out. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to build out the plane, you know, get the fuselage all buttoned up in the back like I have it here, and then I'll figure everything else out as I go along. Motor mount. And then it cuts to see, this is why I don't like plans like this, because you have to be an advanced builder to build stuff like this. So you really don't, when you're looking on AutoZone, always look at your set of plans and look at your setup and how everything's going to work. So as you can see, it's pretty much, you're going off by whatever you can find. And that's it. It goes directly to this and it shows the plane taking off. So this is from RC Modeler magazine, 1984. Which, whatever. I don't have the 1984 edition magazine, so at least the printout is here. And these are available on AutoZone also. I'm actually thinking about it now. I shouldn't have even printed this model. I should have gotten a different P-40, but we have it already, and let's see if we can get the darn thing built and flying, you know? So I'm going to try my best to do this thing. Anybody go flying this weekend? Summertime is always a pretty terrible time to fly model airplanes. Shoot. So this past weekend, I went to a slot car track here in town that's been open for a little while, and they're talking about how slot car tracks or how slot car racing is coming back to the masses. And I was talking to the owner's part-time employee, and he was telling me they get pretty busy, which is really cool. I'm kind of happy that people are starting to recognize that old the old ways are much more fun than being online all the time, you know. Maybe model airplanes are not lost completely to time, and people are finding them and will find them eventually and get back to doing, instead of buying prefabbed foam airplanes on the internet, you know. I mean, there were always art aircraft around, but I like building them because you learn a lot more from your airplane, and you know what's wrong with it when you're building it. Close to when we're getting finished with this today, in this video, we're only gonna work on this for a little while. I'm gonna show you some of the planes that I picked up over the weekend, and hopefully I can show it to you pretty well on the camera. I'm gonna bring up the other camera in a moment so you can see. I found somebody was giving some airframes away at the field, and they're large scale planes. One of them actually has landing gear attachments to it. It's a Corsair, and with a little cleanup, and it needs control surfaces rebuilt for it. I think we can get the plane back up in the air and actually have some fun with it. And there's also a Spitfire that I picked up, which I've always wanted to build a Spitfire, but with this Spitfire I can modify it, and it's pretty much a Spitfire that needs work. It needs a lot of tender loving care. First of all, it needs a good cleaning. It looks like it's been sitting in a garage for quite a long time. I'm actually going to bring up the camera right now. There we go. There I am. So it's been seriously, it's really dirty. You can actually see the wing behind me. If you're looking behind me, you can see the wing. So you can see the wing behind me here, off to my right shoulder, which is your left side of my shoulder. Yeah, the wing is in really rough condition. It's missing in some blisters. I have a belief that it's probably a Mark 14 Spitfire. Like I said, it needs work. Wherever it was sitting in a garage, the wheel just melted away. And I'm going to show you that one, and I'll show you the Corsair that I got, and also I have another glider in, which is really cool also. So that fuselage is now up and going. Fuselage a little twisted here. So we gotta try and get this. I'm going to have to do a lot of fill here, because this piece and this piece have to be flush, and then I also have to bring this down here. I have to fill in this piece here, because there's a lot that I took out of here, and man, I can tell there's a lot missing. So But hey, you know what? This is all the fun stuff about building airplanes, right? So we're gonna cut this down. I'm also building, if you guys are following the videos, I'm also building the P-68 Victor, the Partavina, the Italian plane that's sitting off to my side here. And I think on camera we'll do a little bit of that build also. So we'll be doing, for future knowledge, we won't only be building this aircraft on site, but we'll also be working on others. That's a twin, and the real one that I really would like to build with y'all on the camera here will be the Denfaya, which I found out I did not know. It is a real plane. There were only two built, and it's an Argentinian company that actually built some funky looking planes. So freaky deaky looking planes, man. Freaky deaky. Twist the frame here a little bit, try and get this all rerouted if I have to. Yesterday's broadcast for Jeff in Lower Alabama was really nice. I liked watching it. Fortunately, I had to go to bed a little early. I was already falling asleep. And 8:30 to 9:30 for me is a little hard to do. So. See, that bulkhead there is kind of twisted, but we'll come back to that. I'm going to have to do cutting holes and stuff like that, so I want to try and get all this superstructure put in, and then I'll be able to cut holes and be able to run all the running gear and push rods for it. But I'll be able to clean all this up. Alright, I'm going to put this aside for now so it'll dry up a little bit. Let me get this out of the way. And I'm going to bring in the main event. I'm going to bring in the camera a little bit more. Sorry, that's my computer making noises. First off, I'm going to bring in the Spitfire so you guys can see it, what it looks like. It needs some work. Serious work. So as you can see, the wing is pretty... It's a fabric wing with a rib underbelly. I'm going to have to peel it all off. This is just one half of the wing. I'm not going to try and bring up the whole thing, but I can't really do that. So what we're going to do is we're going to tilt the camera up. It's not going to really work. So we'll keep this on here. We'll just shut that camera off for now. And we'll bring up this one. So, as you can see, the plane is dirty. You can pretty much see the wing is a pretty big wing. It's missing the blisters. I can recreate those, but I really want to get all this fabric covering off because it's really dirty. And I think I could just recover it in flat ultra coat. And then you can definitely tell this was sitting in a very hot garage because that wheel is just roached. It's seriously roached. This one's missing. So, but if I can get all this covering off, I can see what type of system it's set up with, because then I can design it and maybe put in retractable landing gear. Because these wheels are technically supposed to be inboard more, and then they come out on a Spitfire. They come out from here and they go down. So this needs to be in here. So I would like to make it retractable. So that's the note. And plus, if I can get into this whole area, I can see what type of plane this is just by the rib type. I can see if it's a Sterling model or something like that, because sometimes sometimes people actually write what they're doing. So, this is the wing. Fuselage, on the other hand, that's a really interesting bit. A bunch of stuff just came out of it. I think somebody was living in it probably at one point. This one I am going to bring up the other camera so you can actually see inside of it. I'm going to shrink this camera down. And I'm going to get my body a little bit, I'll get the camera a little shorter. Alright, so you can see this was where the gas motor sat. Just based on what it looks like in here, I'm going to scoot it back a little bit. It doesn't look like this plane was ever flown. It looks like the motor was placed in here, but there's not a lot of damage. There was a gas tank in here at one point, and there was some spillage. But like I said, this plane probably only flew once or twice at most. It just sat for a very long time. The wood is delaminated, as you can see. So I will have to do a lot of reconstruction. This is where an electric motor can go, and I can get in here. Now I don't have the upper portion cowling, so that will have to be recreated. And I have enough here that I can do that. I could probably make a mold out of foam and then cover it in fiberglass, and that would be here. And then what I'll do is I'll fiberglass this up to here, and then this will be where the battery will go. I'll just cut a hole in the front so I can run all the gear. What's really interesting is that this thing has a cockpit. If I bring this camera down, see that it has a cockpit in it. The canopy needs to be redone. It's in pretty poor condition. It has a retractable canopy that was handmade. Fishing wire. and this is the actual canopy roll forward. Now this part I didn't notice, I just noticed this now with you guys here, is that it's missing the back canopy. This would have been the radio compartment where the radio for the pilot would have been, but this part is missing, so I will have to replace that and recreate it. This is where the antenna would have come out and then hooked up to the tail. Let me go ahead and put this back up here. Not making it too much of a... I'm sorry. I do apologize. So yeah, this plane really needs some serious work. The elevators are in really poor condition. This plane weighs a lot too. But again, with an electric motor, it'd be nothing. And Master Screw now makes 3-bladed props for electric motors. So getting this thing to fly won't be that hard. Some of the covering is coming off, which I'm going to tear off. Ooh. You can see that there. Let me shut off this light. See the wood. Some cracking here. The person really used a lot of filler, which is a lot of balder. This looks like caulking style filler, which is not really ideal for flying. That's why the plane's probably so heavy. I don't even know what it looks like under here. But yeah. The landing gear, the tail wheel looks like it's working out pretty well. That's pretty interesting the way they had it set. The person had it set up. But I'll have to get this tail wheel out. There's this dead spider, and this thing has to be really cleaned up. It has the push rod right here, and control horn right here for the tail, for the rudder. Swinging it around. This is not the only one, so I still have another one to show y'all. Something was living in here at one point because it just started to chew away at that. These were where the servos were, but looking at the stamping on here, I think this was an old Sterling kit. I could be wrong, but the stamping on it pretty much gives it away a little bit. So it had a rubber setup. So it was rubber band here, rubber band here. We'll replace it with screw-on bolts. I don't know what went here, going on this area here. I have no idea why this is like this. I don't know if there was supposed to be a bulkhead here at one point. I have no clue. But yeah, this ribs construction in here, this looks like the way that the construction is done, it looks like an old Sterling kit. I don't know. Any of you guys really follow the old ways of building model airplanes? If you know what it was, please do me a favor and drop a comment in the field below. It'd be greatly appreciated. Hey Peyton, how you doing? Nice to see you, man. Yeah, the 737's gone. I do apologize. I know it's kind of sad. But you know what? That's the way things go, bro. You have to recycle old planes and put them back together and keep them all running, you know? That's one airplane. So stay tuned, Peyton. You're going to see the next plane that we have on our foray here. Oh, God, stuff all. camera, sorry. Now this one here I think is an ARF. Corsair. It's got retractable landing gear, which is great. I got the wing over there. It's kind of like a plasticky type of setup. It's missing the rudder, which I can recreate. This is definitely an ARF kit. Anybody knows what ARF, I'll take some pictures of it. Anybody knows what ARF kit this is, and you can tell me, I would greatly, greatly appreciate it. Because I am definitely going to need help. The steering wheel in the back is rotted. The push rods still work. This one also doesn't look like it flew at all. There's really not much wear to it. I have a cowling for it from another plane, but I think this could be a top flight kit. And the pilot is just, that pilot, I don't know if you can see it. Let me bring the other camera here. That pilot is huge. He's too big for the plane. So, but yeah, these are the two kits that I picked up. Somebody was giving them away for free. I guess he couldn't sell them, but we'll get to these eventually. For now, they'll have to go up in storage, and maybe during the winter time we'll get to them. But yeah, Peyton, the 737 is gone. I told people that plane was going to end up leaving the area in a garbage can. We were able to get a lot of good parts out of it. My boss wanted to turn it into a villa, and the airport was just not working with him, so it was kind of sad to see it go. Would have been kind of cool if it had been turned into like an Airbnb, you know? That would have been really nice, I think. I'm gonna try and put together a little collage of photos. You guys have been seeing the photos that I've been posting here, and I'll put more. Just to let you all know, I'm no longer on Facebook in terms of posting, videos, or I'm not really updating my Facebook page. So this is where you're going to be able to find me, posting here a lot more, and this is going to be my primary social media account, which I much rather converse with RC guys, URC guys, and pilots like Peyton, and people that really like aviation, more so than the garbage that's on Facebook. I'm not really into the whole Facebook. I've just gotten really tired of it. It's really just mumbo jumbo and a lot of deep fake stuff, and I won't entertain people on there anymore. So, but yes, you're gonna find more videos on here. I'm gonna pretty much pour a lot more videos onto this site. Also, if you're new here, do me a favor, strike the thumbs up button, hit the heart, like the video, share it, share my content. There's a couple of things I'd like to go to a couple of air museums in the area. Here in Florida, we have a lot of nice air museums. There's Valiant's Air Museum, there's the Florida Air Museum, which is in Lakeland, which is about an hour away. Valiant Air Museum is about 2 hours away. It's over on the Space Coast. And yeah, so during the winter time, when the winter time comes, I'll be going to a couple more model airplane shows, and I'll show things going on here. But this is going to be my primary, and I'll also have my Substack where I'll write my articles and things like that. But you'll still see some articles, historical articles, coming up on here soon too. But yeah, getting back to the 737. planes have to be recycled. New parts cannot be built. So the whole thing about, I know some of you guys are like, why would they tear a plane apart? Well, how do you keep the other 737 300 models? The 300 and the 400 pretty much had the same parts. How do you keep those flying? You can't build new parts. So you have to have a surplus of parts, and Boeing just doesn't create those parts. That plane hasn't flown. The 737 300s that are still flying and the 400s that are still flying today are flying because of donor aircraft. So they just don't. They're not. You need to have donor aircraft. So it is a sad thing. So, but guys, I'm gonna cut it short tonight. I'm just a little exhausted. Tomorrow, next week, we will continue on this build. I'm gonna fix this up a little bit more, and then we'll continue building the plane, and we'll do some more stuff. Just tonight, I'm just a little tired. Went to go see Disclosure Day last night. I liked it a lot, and something I learned. I don't like listening to people that people that review movies and just do that. I think they're reviewing movies because if they don't like the movie, doesn't mean that I don't like the movie. And I've come to the conclusion that I'm not going to go watch a movie that's been reviewed. If I've seen the reviews, I won't go watch the movie. I'll draw my own conclusions. And if, I like going to the movies. I miss going to the movies. Yeah, there's a lot of bad movies out there, but you know what? Gotta like them, and I think Disclosure Day was a really good movie. I really do think so. There was a lot of questions. It's a thought-provoking film, and you really think about what's going on in the movie. And I liked it a lot. I really did like it. I really enjoyed it. I stayed in my seat the whole movie. I never got up to go use the restroom. I was holding it all the way till the end. So, But, c'est la vie. It was a good movie. Not going to give anything away. If you want to, if you like sci-fi, go see the movie. You'll really enjoy it. I know you'll enjoy it. So, alright guys, that's it for today. We'll continue on this thing next week and see where it goes. Alright? Talk to you later. Model Man Frank out. Well, have a good night, guys.